bill. Yes, I'm only a bill.
We all remember this song. It made it all seem so simple, and turns out it's not. Who writes, influences, and kills bills? It gets messy. I'm Scott Greenstone.
And I'm Libby Denkman. On Sound Politics, we tell that story, the inside track on how policy gets made in this Washington and the other one, and how it impacts you.
Listen now on the KUOW app or wherever you get your podcasts.
A certain type of business is becoming an endangered species.
Sears, once an iconic American brand, has closed its final store in Washington.
Some sad news to share. Wild Waves theme park in Federal Way has announced this next season will be its last.
There is a bagel company that suddenly announced it is going out of business. We're talking about Blazing Bagels. It was once red hot, and it's been around for 25 years.
The middle-class economy is quintessentially American. It's a whole range of businesses that cropped up to serve the growing middle class after World War II. Think coffee and apple pie at your neighborhood diner.
Or back-to-school shopping at Sears. But companies that cater to the middle class are cratering under the weight of the affordability crisis. I'm Monica Nicholsberg.
I'm Joshua McNichols, and this is Booming.
Today, why is the middle economy disappearing? And what does it mean for the businesses we love? That's coming up.
What'll it be, kids?
Cherry soda, please.
Danny?
Oh, I'm not very hungry. Just give me a double Polo burger with everything and cherry soda with chocolate ice cream, okay?
Ooh, that sounds good. I'll just say.
So, Joshua, I want to start today with a story, if you'll let me.
Of course.
When I was in my 20s, I spent many, many Sundays at this diner in Wallingford called Blue Star. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, we used to go there all the time with my in-laws.
Yeah, so it was just like beloved by regulars of all ages. It has this big wooden bar, black and white tile floors, scratched up old booths. Mm-hmm. It's just like this very cozy, classic vibe. I'd go with a big group of friends, all recent college grads just starting out our careers, and we would each order our own omelet with all kinds of customizations that weren't on the menu, and a side of fries for every person because they had the best fries. It was nothing fancy, just good food at a good price.
Our clientele, I would say, very loyal. Many have been following us for 50 years.
Yeah, Blue Star was really good at meeting my mother-in-law's dietary requirements. She always wanted to order every meal with no spices whatsoever, including cinnamon.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like the type of place that really took care of you.
Yeah.
So I was really sad to learn that Blue Star was closing. I had to go one last time, and while I was there, I sat down with the owner, Wendy Morales, over French fries, obviously.
Our lease is coming to an end, and the economic squeeze, it's something that we can't really manage. You can only raise your prices so high with who our clientele is. They're not eating out. They're choosing to give up eating out in our category and maybe saving it for a special dinner. People are very, very sad, but it also shows the reality of the future and the economics of Seattle.
So when I saw that Blue Star was closing, of course I told all my friends who I used to go with. And one of them said something that's kind of stuck with me. She said, there are no diners anymore.
Is that really true? I mean, I can think of a few, like the Varsity Inn, the Dish, Salmon Bay Cafe, places we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of an exaggeration. But I think that Blue Star closing reflects something broader that's happening in our economy right now. And I think people like my friend can sense it. Have you heard of this term, the K-shaped economy?
Yes, I have. I've always found it a little bit confusing, though.
Yes, leave it to economists to come up with a metaphor that kind of illuminates nothing. But I'll try to explain it as simply as possible.
Okay.
So the K-shaped economy is the idea that the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer and the middle class is dying out. So if you picture a K, it starts with that vertical line. In the middle of it, that's the middle class. The arm that goes up, that's the rich getting richer and having more spending power. The arm that goes down is everyone else, and their dollar is not going as far.
Okay.
And I think we're seeing businesses reflect this trend. Luxury, premium businesses are doing really well. And then discounters like a grocery outlet or dollar store, they're also booming because there are more people who are trying to get the best deals possible. But the companies that target the middle class, they're struggling.
Right. Yeah, that's where it's pinched. So it reminds me a little bit of what's happening with housing. You know, there's not enough starter homes that are affordable to people who are in that middle income bracket.
Yeah, you sometimes hear it referred to as the missing middle.
Yeah. Okay, so thinking back to that letter K shape and the squeezed part in the middle, what kind of middle-class stores are struggling?
Well, a store like Kohl's is a good example. Bed Bath & Beyond, Eddie Bauer is a local one. Or fast casual places are having a really hard time right now, like Olive Gardens, Red Lobsters, TGI Fridays. A lot of those are either closing stores or even declaring bankruptcy. I talked to Brandon Svek about this. It's something he researches as the director of retail analytics at CoStar, which provides a ton of data on the commercial real estate market across the country.
The wealthy are spending at a record pace, and that's really driving strong performance from our upper-end luxury retailers. On the other end of the scale, we're seeing about 80% of consumers trying to do more with less, right? So discretionary spending has fallen for the bottom 80% of households across America. So if we're trying to stretch our dollar, we're going to end up shopping more at a discounter such as a Dollar Tree or a Dollar General, or an off-price retailer such as a TJ Maxx or a Ross.
You reported out a whole episode about this, you know, people making meals out of things they bought at the dollar store.
Yeah, exactly. And on the luxury end, companies like Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy are doing really well. I have a very Seattle example of this.
Okay.
It involves a yacht.
Okay, that's very Seattle, I guess. We got a lot of water.
Right. So I met this guy, Greg Holloway. He owns a luxury yacht that he charters out to people who can afford it. And he gave me a tour.
Well, we can go down here, below decks. Okay. And then...
It's this huge boat that he has moored in Lake Union, almost double the size of the boats next to it. Downstairs, there are 3 beautiful bedrooms, each with its own bathroom.
And so every stateroom has a head as well. And then this head is pretty interesting. You don't see many heads with jacuzzi tubs on a boat. So
then on the main level, there's a big living room, a full kitchen.
Wine cooler, entertainment center. And then going outside to so this is another dinner table, barbecue out here. And then go up to the 3rd deck. I think this is one of the best places on Lake Union to moor because Lake Union becomes your backyard.
Sometimes people charter it to take them to the San Juans, or other times they'll just book it for the day. It costs about $1,000 an hour to charter, more if someone is booking it to Sailgate, a big Husky game.
And so, yeah, you get corporate charters, you get personal charters. We've done quite a few Seahawks players and Mariners players.
Okay, so he's booking some high rollers.
Yeah, and business is doing well. It's been profitable every year since Greg bought the boat early in the pandemic, and he hasn't really faced any softening demand despite the economic headwinds that we've been covering.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, you know, in this story about luxury yachts and closing diners is in Seattle, we sort of have this tale of two cities situation emerging. Our discount stores and our luxury brands are booming, but middle market businesses are struggling. So what's driving this trend? Is it just income inequality?
I mean, that's the simplest answer, but there is also more to it than that. We do have a historically high wealth gap right now. But at the same time, costs for businesses have risen a lot in recent years, especially in Seattle. And so it's getting more and more expensive to run a business that serves customers who have less and less to spend.
Is there any way that we could think of the K-shaped economy as a good thing? I mean, could it be that the middle class is shrinking because more people are sort of graduating to upper middle class or becoming wealthy?
There are definitely people who make that argument. It's complicated because there are two things happening here. A greater share of American families today is rich, and a greater share is poor, compared to the second half of the 20th century, which we think of as more of that middle-class boom. That's good for families that have moved up, the upper arm of the K. And their spending is powering the consumer economy right now. But for the families that have moved down, it's not so good. They're struggling to afford basic necessities. When you have more in the middle, fewer families own yachts, but more families can afford groceries and healthcare. So how you look at this trend, it's a matter of debate. But what we do know is the top 10% of households are responsible for nearly half of all consumer spending. That means the 90% that are left, they're spending less per family, and that's a historic gap.
Okay. So big changes, and a lot more people can't afford to get by.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you said this is a historic wealth gap. What's behind it?
Well, a few things. People who are invested in the stock market or own real estate have done really well in recent years because prices for both have been setting records. Tax cuts for the wealthy and corporations have added even more money to their pockets. Meanwhile, everyone else is seeing rising costs and stagnating wage growth, especially for the lowest income workers, so they have less money to spend. Now, Seattle does have a high minimum wage, which can help families, but that also means higher labor costs for businesses like diners with low margins. So it's kind of a feedback loop. And this phenomenon is bigger than Seattle. It's happening across the country.
Is there anything that can be done to revive the middle-class economy?
Well, if you're somebody who does have a little extra discretion in your budget and having a neighborhood diner or a business like that is important to you, you could vote with your dollar. You could spend your money there.
Okay, so wealthy people could subsidize the middle-class economy.
Yeah, that is one vision. It's not necessarily something I'm holding my breath for. And, you know, I have to admit, I fall into this category of somebody who wrings their hands when their favorite diner goes out of business, even though I haven't been there in years. I loved Blue Star, but we are strictly limiting ourselves right now to going out to eat once a week, and we go to a cheaper place.
Yeah, I mean, if I spend that much money on a meal, I want dinner, not breakfast. I can just make pancakes at home.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Realistically, we're talking about a big trend in the economy that's been underway for more than 30 years. The post-World War II middle-class heyday that you think about when you think middle class, diners, for example, it started to break down in the 70s and 80s as unions collapsed, tax policies started favoring the rich, and trade went global. But those trends have been on steroids since the pandemic, and that's why this feels so acute right now. The middle class is shrinking, and so are the industries that rely on middle-class customers.
That makes sense.
The truth is, a lot would have to change to reverse this trend. People across the political spectrum are having very fierce debates right now about what it would take to bring back the middle class. But the one thing that they do agree on is that something has to change to bring down the cost of living. That is ultimately what it would take to make it possible for more American families to go out to eat on a Saturday night.
Well, Monica, thanks for taking us on this tour of where the consumer economy is right now. And I know you'll keep an eye on it.
I will, and maybe I'll make a point of going to my favorite places before they're gone.
Yeah. All right. Coming up next, the end game.
I'll have what she's having.
All right, we're back for the end game, and we've got Lucy Suchek here.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Welcome.
So, with so many middle economy businesses closing locations or going out of business altogether, I wanted to pay some respect to our childhood faves. So, I've got a list of fast casual restaurants across the country, and I want you to tell me where each one was founded, and bonus points if you can tell me the year it was founded.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Number 1, the classic Applebee's.
I bet it was founded in 1983.
Okay.
In Indiana.
It does sound like an Indiana thing, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to say Boston in 1989.
Wow.
Decatur, Georgia, 1980.
Okay.
So pretty close with the year.
I'm just taking wild guesses on these. This is not my specialty.
Okay, number 2, Outback Steakhouse.
Oh, I think I remember when that was new. I'm going to say 1992.
Okay.
And, I mean, could it have been Australia?
Well, it's an American company, right?
It is an American company.
Okay.
But it has an Australian vibe. That's like the
right.
point of it.
Which state would be the most enamored with the outback in Australia? Like cowboys. It's like.
Yeah, I bet California.
You think California? I think New Mexico.
What? Tampa, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Florida.
Yeah.
The
Florida.
Outback. The Everglades, the Outback.
No, the Outback is Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it
Bloomin'
has an
onions.
Outback vibe.
Florida has an Outback vibe?
Yeah.
I would think Texas has more of an Outback vibe.
I guess that's true, but why?
Yeah.
So why didn't you guess Texas?
Because it felt too on the nose.
Okay.
I was thinking I'm just going to guess California when I don't have an answer because they start so many chains.
It's true. Statistically,
Yeah.
you have a high likelihood. Good strategy.
Yeah.
This is from their website. 4 friends in the 1980s came together with the dream of opening their own restaurant, a place casual in atmosphere with quality food and service at the top of the list.
Huh. They all say that.
Yeah, which one are you describing? I couldn't.
Okay, number 3. This is the last one, and I think you'll probably know it, but if you don't, then that's fun. Red Robin.
Oh, that's
Washington,
Seattle.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle, founded in 1969.
I think the original one, or the first one, was right by the University Bridge.
Yes, you're right, Joshua. It's gone through many different names. First, it was Sam's Tavern, then Sam's Red Robin, and then it was turned into Red Robin Gourmet Burgers Incorporated.
Huh. I wonder where the robin comes from.
I don't know.
Because we don't we have red-breasted robins, I guess, but they're not like a red bird. Did they have a red bird logo? I'm on a bird walk here. Literal bird walk.
We have lots of robins. We see them a lot
We
this time of
do.
year.
Yeah.
So, bonus question, what were your favorite fast casual chains as kids?
Well, Red Robin was fun because I could get a pineapple chicken burger, and they had flair, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My favorite was IHOP because when I was in high school, my friends and I all had a 4th period that was very skippable, especially senior year after we got into college, a little senioritis. So we would skip 4th period, go to IHOP, order black coffee, drink tons of it, and then I always just got a side of hash browns with ketchup and hot sauce.
Love it.
Yeah.
I was a theater kid in high school, so after
I am not surprised to hear that.
after our opening night, we always went to Denny's at like 11 p.m. And
Yeah.
that was the tradition.
Nice.
It's a high school staple.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for playing.
Yeah.
This was fun.
That's it for Booming. Thank you so much for listening.
Do you have a Blue Star that's going out of business? We would love to hear from you and commiserate. You can email us at booming@kuow.org or leave us a voicemail at 206-221-7158.
And thank you to everybody who gave during the pledge drive, and thanks to Robert, who donated specifically to Booming. You know, this kind of thing really helps us.
That's right. If you want to be like Robert, go to kuow.org/booming to donate. And thank you.
All right, our producers are Lucy Suchek and Alec Cowan. Our editor is Carol Smith. I'm Joshua McNichols.
I'm Monica Nicholsberg, and we'll catch you next time.
Music festivals and fan conventions, art walks, author events, and reading parties. The next few months are amazing for arts and culture in the Seattle area. And every week, KUOW's Arts and Culture podcast, Meet Me Here, will give you the inside scoop. From inspired recommendations to surprising chats with artists, you'll discover what's truly special about Seattle's creative communities. Listen to Meet Me Here on the KUOW app or wherever you get your podcasts.